Okay, is this the best lens combo for the GH7? I got the Leica Vario Summilux 10-25 and the 25-50 for the LUMIX GH7. Now, I've used these lenses quite a bit with the GH6, but there's something about the GH7 that I think might make these lenses the perfect combo for shooting video with your LUMIX GH7. However, there's one major drawback to these lenses that you might want to consider if you're looking at some new lenses for the GH7. But first, if you want more content about the GH7 and other LUMIX cameras, make sure you hit that subscribe button. First reason why I think that these Vario Summilux Leica lenses are the perfect combination for the LUMIX GH7 is for, at the time of shooting this, the brand new firmware that came out for these lenses. And that is going to improve your autofocus performance with the GH7 combined with either the 10-25 or the 25-50. So yes, the GH7 already has great autofocus, but now with the firmware update for these two lenses, the autofocus sticks if you do any type of zoom through all of the different focal lengths. So you could have one shot, do a zoom throw, and that autofocus is gonna stick, especially on like the human detect or motorcycle detect, whatever detect you're using, that autofocus will lock on through all those different focal lengths as you're zooming. Another reason why I think that the 10-25 and the 25-50 make the perfect combo for the GH7 is just the speed of these lenses. These lenses are gonna be an f1.7, and that f1.7 is gonna be constant through every focal length. And with a micro four thirds system, that feature, being able to keep a constant f1.7 through all the focal lengths and not having variable aperture through the different focal lengths, is fantastic because you need as much light as you can get with the micro four thirds sensor on the GH7 and other micro four thirds sensor cameras. Sometimes people shy away from micro four thirds cameras just because you can't get the depth of field like you can on full frame cameras. However, if you shoot with a fast enough lens, so this lens technically, if on a full frame sensor, would be like an f2.4. So if you are used to shooting on f2.8 lenses, which are pretty common on full frame cameras and give a great separation from the foreground to the background, it would be very similar on this lens or the 10-25. That f1.7 is also pretty fast for a zoom style lens on the micro four thirds system. A lot of times you're looking at prime lenses if you want to get that fast aperture. So having this fast of an aperture on a micro four thirds zoom lens, I think is a great feature to have and a perfect combination with the GH7 if you are looking for a little bit more depth of field on your image. Another reason why these lenses are a great fit for the GH7 is just the internal zoom components. Nothing is popping out the end of the lens. So the weather seal system is truly intact with this setup right here. So right now I'm shooting in the studio because it's raining outside, but technically I could take this out and be fully confident that this weather seal system is going to protect the internals of the camera. I love zoom lenses that don't pop out of the end as you shift through the different focal lengths. So the internal components is a great feature of these two lenses, making it a perfect combo for the GH7. I also think that these two lenses, when it comes down to it, is a great focal range for the GH7 if you're doing any type of video production. So from 10-25, so technically on a full frame sensor, you kind of be looking at like a 20-50 millimeter range, and then the 50-100 millimeter range with this 25-50 micro four thirds lens. So being able to cover that wide, landscape, setting the scene, everything to your close-ups that you need, especially if you're running two GH7s or a GH7 and a GH6, having these two lenses would be a great interview setup, right? An A cam, B cam, that's really all you would need with these focal ranges. And then to add to that, these lenses are the same exact size. So if you have the GH7 rigged up, if you need to switch out, the focal ranges, You just pop it out, pop it in. Nothing is going to change balance-wise. So basically the same size, same weight. And these are impressive lenses for micro four thirds. So usually micro four thirds lenses are a little bit smaller, but these have an impressive 77mm thread on the front. So they look good, feel great, nice and heavy. If you need to toss it out, both operate the same. So if you need to toss it out of autofocus, you just pop that ring right there, pop it back into autofocus. Then both lenses also have the aperture ring as well. So you can kind of shift through your aperture settings just right here on the ring, which can be a little confusing, especially if you're used to using, fully automatic lenses where, you adjust the aperture actually on your control on your camera. This one is a ring control, so it can get bumped pretty easily. So you want to make sure that you have that where you need it for, consistency between the two lenses. But these are impressive, well-built lenses between the two. When you go out to shoot, you can have confidence that the focal range is going to be sufficient for what you need. And if you do need to extend that zoom just a little bit more, you do have the crop zoom that's built into the GH7, which is going to extend that zoom even further if you need it. However, because they are bigger lenses, they might not be the best lenses to travel with. So you might want to have like a smaller travel size lens if you travel with the GH7. But you can be confident that whatever you're shooting, whether that's traveling, whether that's professional work, interviews, B-roll, whatever that is, between the two lenses, you're gonna get an excellent, consistent image quality. And that's what makes this, I think, one of the best lens combos for the GH7. However, these lenses, they do have a couple drawbacks to them. One isn't a huge deal. The other one is a major deal that I think Lumix needs to change right away. So the first drawback that isn't a huge deal because of what the GH7 body offers, that is that these lenses do not have any stabilization built into the lens. So you will not have any dual IBIS with this setup right here. However, that is not a huge deal because of the excellent in-body image stabilization of the GH7. Now with an improved electronic stabilization that you can set to high, it will crop in just a little bit, but it is almost a gimbal killer and you don't need to worry about having that dual IBIS with your lens and camera combo. I think even with that electronic stabilization turned off, it's still a great looking image and you don't need to worry about these lenses not being stabilized. But here is the major drawback that I find with these two lenses, and that is the price. I have always thought that these two lenses are way overpriced, probably overpriced by like 500 bucks. Do I think these lenses are worth purchasing? Yes, I do, but you need to be aware that you are going to have to make a pretty big investment into these lenses just to get them on your camera. Regularly, these lenses are about $1,800 US. I think at the time of shooting this at B&H, there's like a $300 discount. So if you want to check that out, check the links out in the description. However, I do understand that they are extremely fast zoom lenses that you don't normally see on a micro four thirds system. But for $1,800, I do think there's a couple features that are missing, like the optical image stabilization that would make that price a little bit more worth it. But despite that, yes, I do recommend these lenses, fully recommend these lenses if they are in your budget, especially if you are going with the GH7 for any type of professional work. So let me know what you think about these Leica Varial Similex 10 to 25, 25 to 50. Is this something that you've been using on, past micro four thirds systems? Are you going to the GH7? Is this a combo lens package that you would consider for the GH7, especially with some of those new autofocus features and updates? Let me know what you think about this combo down in the comments and we can get a conversation started down there. At the time of shooting this video, I just recently got my hands on the GH7, so if you want to check out my first look video, it's popping up on your screen right here. I go over some immediate impressions about the GH7 and some sample shots, and I would love to see you over on that video over there.